one. Live.
Hey everyone, Mike McCleary here with Amazing and the Amazing Selling Machine for another live session on Facebook. We have two awesome, amazing people and sellers. We're going to get to interviewing them and talking about their experiences selling on Amazon, how it's changed their lives, and how that's flowed through and changed other people's lives also. But also I want to make sure that everyone can hear me okay. So if you can see this video, feel free to say something, drop us a line below, say hello. Also, we're going to be giving away 2 Amazon $100 gift cards while on this call today. So what we'll be doing shortly here is anyone who shares it and likes this video, you'll be entered for a chance to win the gift cards. And not everyone, but we'll randomly pick out 2 different people. We're going to do that in a few minutes here. I'm going to let some people come on live first. It takes a few minutes for the live session to get going. But yeah, so one of the really cool things about being a part of Amazing Selling Machine are the people that you meet. And I'm going to introduce to you now real quickly. We have Athena Saveri and also Angie Chacon. I would say that not only are they amazing sellers, amazing moms, they're also become amazing friends. And that's one of the amazing parts of this whole business here is that you get to meet all kinds of people through all walks of life and get to know them. And really, I think that's probably more of what I love about this business than anything else in the world. So before I start talking to them, though, let's give away the first gift card. So Rich Henderson is actually here. He's in the background kind of mastering everything behind us. So we're going to get as many people to share and like this video as possible. And then in 2 minutes, I'm going to set my countdown timer right now. We will give away the first $100 Amazon gift card. So if you go out there, let's see, we're going to share it. We'll start the timer right now. Okay, so first off, Athena, so let me ask you a quick question here. So how long have you been selling on Amazon now?
For about 2.5 years now.
Okay, and what were you doing before that?
I worked for a consulting firm. I was in corporate America for about 9 years.
Oh, wow.
At that one job. Yeah, 16 years total.
And then are you still doing that job or no? Okay, a big no, all right.
No, I have all the freedom I ever dreamed I could have. And that's part of why I'm so thankful for this opportunity.
So you were able to sell on Amazon and then quit your job on a consulting job. It's a pretty nice paying job. So.
Yeah, what actually happened, a friend of mine was quitting his job and so was his wife. And I was like, what are you going to do? It's actually Ari and Chelsea Cohen, two very good friends of ours. And I was like, so what are you doing? He's like, well, I took this course and now I'm selling stuff on Amazon. And I was like, are you serious? Like, that's what you're going to do? You're going to leave your job and do that? He said, yeah, let's go to lunch. I'll show you my numbers. So he actually flipped open his Seller Central, showed me the sales that he'd been only doing for about 6 months, and he was able to quit his job and his wife. And I was like, whatever that is, give it to me because I want that too. Yeah, so I signed up for the Amazing Selling Machine course, and I started part-time. At night I'm a mom, and I had a very full-time schedule, so I did it little by little, and I was able to quit my 6-figure job thanks to this course.
That is awesome. That's an awesome story. We actually had the Cohens here. Ari and Chelsea Cohen came in over the weekend and talked a little bit about how they have been able to, like exactly what you said, quit their jobs, quit their searches. They were really trying to build a lot of different things over the time. Nothing seemed to stick for them. And now this business model is the one that's worked out amazingly for them as well. And they travel all over the time. I'm always watching their posts everywhere. So yeah, love the Cohens also. And I'm so glad they were able to share it with you. Now, Angie, so you have a similar story, right? How long have you been selling on?
About 3.
Oh, hold on before we get to
Angie.
Angie.
We're going to give away a card.
Wait a minute. Excited now. So Rich Henderson, if you don't mind, I'm going to hop on here on Facebook. And let's see. Let me know, Rich, when you find the first winner for this contest. So let's see. There we are live. All right, so we should have a winner here in just a moment. Rich is going to magically and randomly pick out a winner. He has got like a way of doing it. It's closing his eyes and scrolling the screen and like pointing to it. So it's very scientific. All right, so let's see who our first winner is. Winner, we have Michelle Turnbow Hall. You're the first winner of the first Amazon $100 gift card. There's nothing you need to do. We will be messaging you sometime over the next couple of days. We're a little busy now because like the course just opened up today, but we'll make sure someone gets a hold of you in the next couple of days and send this to you electronically so you can use it right away. So congratulations, Michelle. If you did not win this time, don't worry. So everyone who has already liked this, already shared this also, we're going to give away another card. We brought 2 in today. Later on down the road, probably sometime near the middle or end of the Facebook Live session here, we'll give it away. So feel free to go out there, keep sharing this. As a matter of fact, we already have a ton of people doing that. So let's see, we had 13 shares to start off with. We have 68 people watching us on here. It's getting shared and watched and viewed. I love these Facebook Live things. They just go crazy on here. All right, so Angie.
I know, right? Hi, guys.
Angie, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I had to give away $100. So
yeah,
it's kind of fun.
It's all good.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started and when you got started selling on Amazon.
Yeah, so I started 3 years ago. Similar, I had a friend who was selling on Amazon, and she was doing fairly well, and I was looking for a new business opportunity. I kind of started from zero. A lot of people know my story. Maybe some people don't, but I was sort of in a change in my life, like getting divorced after 26 years of being married, and I have 4 kids, and I was supporting them, and I was kind of just starting life over and looking for an opportunity. I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I was traveling a lot, and it just really was not working, trying to raise my kids and traveling, and I was barely making ends meet. So, and financially, I was starting over again. So I saw a friend, and she was doing very well, and then I think I heard of somebody else that I knew that was also doing it, and I was like, okay, what is this? I really want to find out. And at first I thought, oh, this is probably like an MLM, some multi-level thing, and I actually ignored it probably for a few months, and then the opportunity to get the course came out, and I was like, well, I don't want to miss this opportunity, and I didn't have the money to buy it, and it was definitely one of those things where I had to make a really big decision in my life. It's like, do I go out on the limb and find out a way to come up with the money to buy this course, or do I just, pass on it? And I think because my friends were doing it and I knew people that were succeeding, it was, I guess, a confidence for me that, okay, this is something that it can be done. So why can't I do it too? And I did. I just made it go right. And it was like, kind of a funny story, but it was like the last minute of the last day. It was like 2 hours before the course was going to close, and I still hadn't figured it out. And I, through a friend, ran into somebody, and they just, anyway, the money was there. They were willing to buy the course for me. And it was like one of those crazy things. And a lot of people don't actually know that story.
Wow, I didn't know that. I'm assuming you paid them back at some point?
Yes, of course. So, yeah, no, I mean, I made the money back in 6 months. I was making well over like $60,000 a month in sales.
A month
on Amazon
crazy.
in the first 6 months. So it was just, I worked hard and I put a lot into it. And I mean, like Athena, it's like I didn't have a lot of time either. I was working 9-to-5. I was trying to work my job. At night, I would, okay, I have an hour. Let me study the modules and learn the next thing. And okay, sourcing my product. Okay, what am I going to do? And sending my first shipment to Amazon. And it was like getting through the initial learning curve, but then it was just awesome because it was like, all right, well, this is what you do. And then I have a product and it's up and it's making sales, and rinse, repeat. It's like, okay, next product. Oh, okay, I know how to do all this now. So it was easy. Just get it going, get it out there. And it's like, wow, okay, now that one's going. Okay, next product. Okay, so I think I had 5 or 6 products in that 6 month. And it was at that point where I was making enough to quit my job and do it full time, but I was also making enough to reinvest and keep it going and new products. And I was able to do that. And, my numbers had definitely expanded like crazy after that. I don't know if we want to talk numbers on here, but
so just ballpark figure, what do you sell in a year, you think, of everything combined?
Yeah, well, last year I did $3.2 million in sales.
She says that so casually, like $3.2 million.
Well, this year it'll probably be double that. So
that
yeah
is incredible. That really is.
Well, So you know me a little, and I'm kind of I like to play a big game, and so I'm shooting for the $2 million a month mark and $25 million a year, and that's where I will be okay.
I would guess you'd be
so,
okay.
Yeah, be okay.
I'm launching 30 products right now before Christmas, and it's
my gosh.
And of course, there's all sorts of stuff going on back home, and while I'm here, and it's I love it. It's exciting, it's something.
Adventure.
I get up and my adrenaline's pumping, and I'm like, okay, what's the next product? What are we going to do now? And anyway,
I have so many questions for both of you on that. But you mentioned adventure, and I recall 4 or 5 months ago, you guys went on an adventure together, which you probably wouldn't have done without taking this opportunity. So I don't know, Athena, tell me a little bit about where'd you guys go together? China, yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's so many places. I know I need to qualify that.
I know. You're like, where have we gone together? Well, Barcelona, New York. Yeah, we've gone to Cabo, San Diego. We've gone a lot of places. But yeah, China. So for me, what Amazing did for me, the Amazing Selling Machine, it not just allowed me to get cash flow, but it allowed me to actually follow another dream I had, which is to create events and things and trips for fellow entrepreneurs. And it started naturally. Angie and I, we actually both separately were doing a lot of events and things at our own home, like little get-togethers. I do something that I call #work-party, where we'd go to a coffee shop and we just kind of get together and we work together. And we all met through the Amazing Selling Machine. So you would never get that community if it wasn't for taking the course and being involved in these events and all these things. Like, we would have actually never met. We met
at the networking lunch at one of the Amazing Live summits.
So if you guys are signing up for the course, make sure you actually get a ticket, not just to the event, but you come to the networking lunches. It's a little plug, because you get to meet people that you'll have as a lifetime friend and comrade. So we met at one of those events, and things developed. We even put on a cruise together.
A cruise, wow, okay.
We invited
it
was like 70 of us, and it was non-for-profit. We literally put it together, worked our tushies off for like months, and we paid for our own cruise as well. Like, we did not charge anyone. We just were like, come on guys, we love you, let's do this, which is why we love to mentor and help people. And that kind of grew from there. And then, I brought 50 people to China. Last April. We're actually going in 3 days.
Going again. So you're flying. Are you flying straight out of here from Austin, or you're going back home?
Nope, we're going to LA for a couple days.
Okay.
And then we're going from there to China. And people don't have to go to China. Like, there's people who are selling millions of dollars on Amazon who've never been to China.
Never been there. And believe me, it's not because very good friends of mine haven't repetitively asked me.
Maybe one day we'll live on Facebook. Maybe you guys can come with us. But yeah, what's incredible is, like, through the course, you actually learn how to develop products and how to build, relationships. And I knew nothing about, foreign relations or country. Did you?
No.
And so you learn very strategically how to develop those, long-lasting relationships overseas with China, with other countries, to find like the best quality products and things. So I kind of took that knowledge and we kind of grew it. And
Athena, your first product, was it sourced in China?
Yes, it was sourced in China.
And had you been to China before?
Never. No. I was selling on Amazon for like a year and a half before I ever decided to be so adventurous. I actually, through Amazing Selling Machine, they explained exactly how to contact suppliers, what to say to them, and I'm still using the same supplier from that very first product that I sourced based on the course. So, awesome. Even though I've been to China, I still have my same girl, Jessica. I love her, and she still helps me, and yeah.
So, and that's a common theme that we've interviewed a lot of people so far this past week. We'll continue to interview more successful, amazing people like you throughout the next couple of weeks here. But the common theme is, even though this business is amazing all by itself, and you can see the things that the opportunities it opens up, there are so many other things you can also do with this business. Like, once you have a successful product, just one or two selling, the options you have for the rest of your life to plan trips to China, to plan cruises just for your friends,
just for fun,
to go to Barcelona and hang out with all of us and go dancing late into the night. There are like so many just opportunities that opened up in here, as a matter of fact, and I love hearing that from everyone. And also, I've heard so many people say the same thing, just like Athena said. Her first product was from China, but she didn't go there till a year and a half later.
No.
I have most of my products from China. I have never been there yet. Funny, something tells me I will be there at some point in time in the future. But Angie, your products, the first products you started selling, were they sourced U.S. or in China?
Currently, none of my products are sourced from China.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm actually planning to, this trip, I'm planning to actually buy like about 15 new products for actually source. And I mean, my last trip, I kind of did a little bit of, just filling it out and figuring it out and getting some catalogs. And this time I'm definitely going into, my next 15 products are going to be from China and complementary what I have, complementary to what I have. But yeah, nothing that I have right now is from China.
So you started out sourcing just from the U.S.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, so you source products in the U.S. And then you may have had some problems with suppliers.
I did.
What kind of happened there? Like, tell us the little story there.
So I was sourcing from a supplier, and it was kind of the peak season for me. And things were going really great, and my sales were doing really well. And then all of a sudden, my supplier is like, "Well, we can't supply your demand, basically." And they had run out of stuff, and so several of my best sellers ran out of inventory. And I was like, "Okay, I need to somehow do something so that this never happens again." I didn't like that liability, so I just went ahead and created my own manufacturing facility.
Boom! This girl.
Whatever, let's just manufacturing facilities. It took me some months to get all the legalities and regulations, but so now I have my own manufacturing in Florida.
And do you just manufacture for yourself or for other people also?
No, I manufacture for others. I do private label and have like 400 plus formulations, and it's growing, and it's fun. I kind of like it. Yeah,
I can imagine. I don't want to scare anyone like it. The suppliers in the U.S. are great. They can usually keep up demand. But one of the things that this tells you is how awesome she was selling, that even her supplier here said, "Uncle, I can't keep up with that demand anymore." And then so she went out and luckily was doing well enough where she was able to build her own manufacturing facility. Which I've yet to hear anyone else do that. That's like thinking outside of like 3 or 4 boxes. That's unbelievable.
Next will be a factory in China. I'll just set one up there.
Right? Just for fun.
Why not?
Just for kicks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So let's see. Now, one of the reasons that, I thought it'd be great to bring the two of you on is because not only, like I said, I keep saying you guys are amazing people just in so many aspects, even take Amazon out of the equation completely. By the way, it's a perfect time to talk about this thing sitting right here.
It was a joke.
Talking for a really, really long time, and everyone is thinking that there's this bottle of wine that is really, really close to the camera, so it looks really big. I'm going to show you something. Hold on. This is not your ordinary bottle of wine.
Yeah.
This is a gift that these ladies just brought into us. I had to have 3 people help me bring it into the building here. But yeah, so I'm going to put this aside. Thank you guys, by the way.
Welcome.
We will not be drinking all of this tonight. That may still be in the camera, but at least it'll look like a normal size now. Okay, awesome. So the reason we wanted to bring both of you in is because you have such great, successful stories, but the definition of success completely depends upon what your definition is.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Angie is definitely going out there and building this huge business, this cash generating machine. And Athena is out there quitting her 6-figure job, traveling the world, planning trips with friends. And I just thought it was a really cool way to show that you don't have to go out there and sell tens of millions of dollars a year.
You don't.
Yeah. And, so Athena, talk about what were your goals going into this?
Well, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't even think I would ever quit my job based on Amazon. I just put a few products and, they were growing and continuously growing. And then I added a few more. And then at one point I told my husband, I'm like, do you see what's going in our bank account? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, this is really close to what I'm making anyway. And if I just put more love into this, I'm going to grow it more and I don't need to go to work anymore. And I will tell you that day that I was able to walk in to my office, I planned my I'm quitting outfit and everything. I was so excited. And I just looked at my boss, who I loved very much. I worked hard for many years, and I said, you know what? I love you, but I'm done. And he said, I know. And I'm so proud of you.
That is awesome.
It was a really big deal. And I don't know if it's okay for me to segment into this, but for me, yes, it's fun to travel. Yes, it's fun to make money. We're moms. I know you're a father. And when my kids were little, I have 2 young sons. And when my youngest was born, I actually worked from home, but it was for the same consulting firm. And it was extremely stressful to try to keep up with my career and be a mom at the same time. And I always felt this mom guilt where I couldn't do a really good job at one or the other. I couldn't 100% dedicate myself to my kids. I felt like those years kind of went by pretty quick because I was definitely, sleep deprived and stressed more than I'd like to be. And then, career-wise, I wasn't giving it my all either. And for years, I was looking for a solution because I was lucky enough to be able to even have that situation. There's a lot of people that have to drop their, 2-month-old babies at a sitter, or they're, at home and they have to make a lot of sacrifices. They can't go on vacation. They can't take their kids to Disneyland. They can't do a lot of things they want to do because they're, at home. So what the Amazing Sewing Machine did for me, it really didn't just change my life. It actually changed the life of my children, my husband, my family, and a lot of my friends and fellow mothers who've also, got introduced to this course. So I think to me, that's the biggest thing that the Amazing Sewing Machine did.
Absolutely. That's an awesome story. And it's real life. I mean, you're hearing right here from someone who's not saying it's just the money. It's like you have more time with your kids, more time with your husband, more time with your friends. And Athena's a huge proponent of starting your own business and selling online and sharing with so many people. There are so many times where if we need someone to help with something, all I have to do is send a text to Athena. And before I even type the question, whatever you need, you got it. It's never like, what's in it for me? What I got on this? It's never that. It's always, what can I help with? And that's just the kind of person she is. And it shows too. It really does. You're amazing. And I say that with like the highest praise possible. I'm going to share a little story about Athena also when I first met her several years ago. So she had just started selling on Amazon
for like a few weeks.
Yeah, for a few. Yeah, and we were at an amazing an event, a live summit we called it back then. And well, there's two stories actually here. One, she didn't really know who I was. She was just kind of chatting away with me
at Starbucks.
At Starbucks.
Yeah. Coffee, Star Wars, kids, high five.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Sorry about that. Look at those mics.
We were just hanging out. I had no idea he was a mentor. No idea at all. We were just hanging out. Thought he was a cool guy.
And we were just getting to know each other, and it was amazing. Like just talking to someone who just started the business. And when we got back into one of the live sessions, I had to go up on stage pretty quickly, and I really needed to use the bathroom. And I couldn't because people were talking to me, and she actually came up and said, let this poor man go use the restroom. And it was one of the funniest little stories. And there was also another gentleman who had lost his laptop, and I had to get back up on stage, and she was like, you go do what you need to do. I'll help him find his laptop. And she did. She walked the man around. They found this guy's, $2,000 laptop, took time out of her day watching the sessions. And right then and there, I knew what kind of person that she was to help people so much. And then there's a third part of the story I lied about actually too. So afterwards we were talking, and there is a point to this. I usually do get back around to the point to this. She had just started selling, and she came up to me. And of course, you're at these events, you meet people of all different stages of their business, with some people selling millions of dollars a year already. And she came up and said, you know what? I just feel like I'm not really being successful yet. She's only been selling for like a few weeks. And I said, well, why? Tell me, like, how are you doing? She goes, well, I'm only like doing $10,000 a month in sales. And my jaw dropped. Like, you've been selling for like a few weeks and you're doing $10,000 a month in sales. And she fell into the trap of comparing herself to everyone else there, which you never, ever should do. Because then we talked about it, and I was like, do you realize that just by doing this, in a matter of weeks, you're covering a house payment? Like that's like a really nice house payment for 90% of America right there, that she was already doing just after a few weeks. Right. Well, now she's crushing it way more than them. But I had to share that story that, again, don't ever compare yourself to the people. Your level of success is whatever makes you feel successful. And most likely, if you're like Athena and myself and some other people, it's how much time you spend with your family, what you can do to travel. I know that right now I'm working a lot because there's a launch and I want to share this with as many people as possible. But I also know that if I need to, I can go hang out with my family for a few weeks and go somewhere and not really worry about it. Angie is the same way. She had, children that she had to provide for. Yes. She was working all these jobs. And it sounds like, not in the best financial situation. And luckily she had a great friend who offered to help her out. And now look where she's at. She's crushing it and helping so many other people.
Yeah. Can I just say something just on the whole, because obviously I have kids, and one of the greatest things for me, actually, this whole experience and part of my drive to actually be successful was, 3 years ago, I was finding myself at, kind of a low point in my life. And we all have our peaks and valleys. Well, that was like, kind of the bottom for me. And I was starting over, and I was a single mom, and I was fully supporting my kids. And, there was a degree of, I need to be successful to show my kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To they can't see their mom, because I had done well, and I had companies and they saw this, but then they saw me at the bottom. And I was like, I can't have my kids see me at the bottom. And it was really important to me to show them that it's important to work hard, the drive, I didn't go out, I didn't go partying, I didn't watch TV. I was driven, and I didn't really feel like I had a choice. It was like, of course it was like self-determined drive, but it was a bit of my purpose there was for my kids to see that. And so now over the last few years, they've seen me go from being at the bottom and not being able to pay for them to do things, and I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I can't pay for that. I don't have the money and you can't do this now. And to good, you want to go to this really expensive, premium school in, Oregon, I'm going to send you. I don't care how much it is. You know what I mean? It's fine if that's really where you want to go. And I just sent my son a few weeks ago. So I'm like,
congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah. So accomplishing this, and now he's loving it because he needed a bigger game, and he wanted to be involved in all these different activities and music and arts and sports, and he has all that opportunity now. And same with my daughter, supporting my daughter and my grandson. And she was trying to get a higher paying job and career, but she needed all this training and all that. And I was able to pay for her to do that, and I was able to help her time wise with my grandson so she could do the training. And so it's like I've been able to do all these things, and they've watched me grow my business. And I've been speaking at events, and I've become a mentor, and I have events at my house all the time, and I'll have anywhere from 30 to 67 people. I had one time come to my house.
Physically there in your house.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Just to talk about Amazon, so I can help them with their businesses, and we can grow with each other. And so my kids have seen this and witnessed this, and you can tell that they have grown with me. They see this, and they have become more confident and more driven and more like, I want to start a business, and I want to take on more. And my kids have changed with me, and the respect for me, they see how hard I've worked, and they've seen what I've been able to give them because of what I'm doing, because of the opportunity that I've had and my drive and just persisting. And anyway, that has meant probably more for me than anything out of this whole journey.
That is incredible. And I want to point out a couple of things here. There's a million things I can point out and bring up, but Angie is now a mentor also.
Yes.
So I don't know if you caught that. She slipped that in there, but it's a really, really big deal. It's a big commitment. So earlier today, Matt Clark and I were here on a marathon session talking about the Amazing Selling Machine, talking about what everyone gets involved in the course. There's the training, of course. There's the community. There's the private resource vault. There's the guarantee. There's the money back guarantee for the buyback promise for 6 months. There's also an incredibly powerful component called the mentors. And those are successful people that are in the community helping you every single day with your business. And Angie is one of them. As a matter of fact, we've been wanting her to be one for a while, and we finally snagged her. So it's amazing. And thank you, by the way. Thank you for myself and all the members out there for offering to help out so many people in the course. And you're a mentor. Athena here has helped out in lots of other ways too. So she mentioned these live events we have. So if you do become a member of the Amazing Selling Machine, you will get an option at the end. It's not really, we're not going to call it an upsell for that. You have an option to go to a live event. It really just covers our costs. It's incredibly cheap to go there. It's a couple $100, maybe $300 or so to go to a live event. And we have something called the networking lunches. And the last 2 or 3, I don't know, is it 3 now or 2? I don't remember.
2.
Last 2, Athena has been running the networking lunches. So we go in there, it's a blast. I love going in there. You get some great food, you get to eat, you meet all those other people,
Awesome.
and then she will have you do some crazy fun things that you may not realize why you're doing them, but there's a meaning. You get to get to know. And
can I tell them my favorite?
Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Okay. So awesome. We did one in Barcelona, Spain. Okay. Hello. Yes. They're like, hey, you want to come host this thing in Barcelona? Don't twist my arm too much. So what I loved is there was a moment, we did a lot of fun things and a lot of ways for you to kind of network. But one of the things we did was actually separate everyone into where they live. So guys from France and from Israel and from Italy and from the US, they all kind of went out separately and they found each other. And they didn't all know each other. And the game was to see who was the closest in vicinity, and they won a prize. And there was somebody who's literally, they call it meters, just, down the street from another Amazon seller that they had never met. And so what was so amazing about the one in Barcelona is I was walking through and you could hear all these different languages. The Germans were speaking German, the French were speaking French. And it's just incredible to have that community, because one of the things that are so powerful about being part of this group is that each person has their own superpowers. Mike is a genius in all realms, so we won't even go there. But, let's say Angie has certain skills and I have other skills. And if we get together, then she can provide her knowledge and then I provide my knowledge. And that's why this networking thing is so valuable. Yes, you get the camaraderie and the friendship, but you also get sort of in numbers all the strengths of all these incredible people. So definitely the networking events are amazing, but also just being part of the group, you meet so many people and you go in those Facebook groups. Oh, sorry, one other thing. Sorry. It's just, I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups, right? And some of them are kind of dead. And sometimes you ask a question and you might get like a couple answers. One thing that I think is very impressive about the Amazing Selling Machines Facebook group is they do have people like Mike, like Angie, who are in there answering, and they've committed to go in there and actually help you. And there's how many mentors? Like 30, 40?
Close to 20. I know that right now.
Okay.
Now we're always adding more and looking for others also.
Right. And then there's even people like myself. I'm not a mentor, but I go in there all the time and, I either help out or I ask questions as well. So it's not just being part of a group. It's what kind of group and what are the quality of the members within that group,
Absolutely.
Which is huge. So.
And Athena's superpower is finding other people's superpowers and bringing them together. And I mean that with all joking aside. It's true. She really does have that.
I do love I collect people.
She collects people. She does. This is not some kind of like Silence of the Lambs things either.
No. I just love people and getting them together and stuff like that. So
there was something else said earlier also that Angie said. I don't know if you caught this. She said her grandson.
I know, right?
I'm like, well,
how's that physically possible? Like, hello.
Okay, here we go. So I think it's time to give away the next $100 Amazon gift card.
Yes.
And what I want everyone on here to do is make a comment below. Do you think Angie looks like a grandma? And we're going to have this go for 2 minutes. Rich Henderson, I want you to pick out, randomly one of those people who answers that question. Do you think Angie looks like a grandma or not? And then you'll win and we'll pick one person to win the $100 Amazon gift card. That's awesome. We couldn't have scripted this,
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Yeah. All right.
So let's talk a little bit about community. You started going on that, Athena, talking about how amazing it is. You guys also have been able to physically meet people. So meet friends here in Austin and LA and Florida, everywhere. How important is it in this business to have a supportive group of people around you can reach out to? I'll go to you first, Angie.
Oh my God. It's like, my opinion, and when I tell people, I'm like, okay, you can buy the course. And to me, that's like 25% of what you're going to get. The other 75% is the help, the people, the mentoring, the people to go to ask questions, the going to the events and getting that wealth of knowledge and that boost of enthusiasm for what you're doing, that inspiration. And it is to me, at least 75% of the value. And there's so much more of that now, even than when I started. Even we have just started our own group of people that help others. And it's so incredible. But I was very fortunate. Even then, there was times where I was starting the business and I was at the beginning and I was like, my first product actually didn't do very well. I picked my first product and a couple months down the road and I'm like, maybe this isn't going to work for me. What do I do? Because this was I was all in. There was no plan B. So it's okay. And I went to one of my friends and I was a little well, I don't know, he's doing so good. And I don't know if I really want to bother him. But I did. And I went and I was like, hi, I really need help. It's this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And I sat with him. It wasn't for very long, but he was like, okay, well, how about this? How about that? Okay. All right. Let me try that, and some of it was we'll go back and just relook at the module on picking products. At this point, it was I had picked a product and it wasn't doing awesome. And I was worried. And I went back and I looked at it and I was oh yeah, well, this doesn't actually fit the criteria of a hot product. I didn't follow the method. And at that point in time, there was a lot of focus on that. Don't go off and do your own thing. It's the proven successful actions are in the course. It's like that. It's years and years and years of compilation of everybody's successes and what has worked. So why would I do something else? So it was go back and re-watch and go, okay, I went, oh, that's okay, good. So I found a couple other products and I put them up and I skyrocketed. It was like, yeah. And then I went to an event, which shortly after that, I went to my first live event. And that event was like, just like little diamond after diamond of like, it was very overwhelming because it was my first event and I was only a few months into selling. But even with all the overwhelm of stuff and I'm writing all these notes going on, no, I'll get to this later. There was just a couple little things that hit me. I'm going, wow, I can do that right now. And I did, I implemented it. And I ended up finding somebody at that event too and networking with people. And I met somebody and she gave me a couple of tips and I was like, oh, okay. And I implemented that. And I met up with another group and we actually started a weekly mastermind call together. There was like 5 or 6 of us. And I got all of that just out of my first event. And literally, yeah, I actually forgot about that. But the next month, I think I was only doing like 3,000, 4,000 a month. And I was like, a few months into it. And like I said, in 6 months, I was doing 60,000. So, the next month I doubled. And I think it was like the next month I doubled. And it was like a rocket ride after that. So that is like the importance to me of the networking and the terminals. And just, you never know where that next person is going to be or what valuable piece of information you're going to get that's going to like double, triple, 4x what you're doing.
Absolutely. I love it. And before we let you comment on that, Rich, it has been 2 minutes.
If anyone says she looks like a grandma.
Oh my God.
You know what? You got the best compliment on here. I hope it hasn't scrolled away yet, but someone said you definitely don't look like a grandpa.
Oh, but well, this is good.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? They weren't like they're everyone. Not a single person has said that you look like a grandma. So that's awesome. So let's go out there, Rich. When you're ready, feel free to pick the winner for us.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll announce that.
Much
it's coming pretty quickly here. Super cool. Like my mom looks younger than she is. There's all I can't even get to all these comments out here, and they scrolled away, so I can't even see all these. So let's see who the next winner is for the $100 gift.
Winner is
We're excited to hear this. Let's see. Oh, the winner is Alice Carol Williams. You are the winner of the second $100 Amazon gift card. And even Alice said you look like grandpa. I'm not sure. That name does sound familiar on here, but that is awesome. And then look at this. Someone else, Veronica, saying this is so cool. My grandkid can't believe his grandmom can be joyful, like checking this program. That's awesome. Everyone, you got so many things. Congrats on being a grandma. You don't look like one. You're too glamorous to be a grandma.
You should call yourself Glamma.
Grandma.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So back to the community you talk about. That's awesome.
Yes.
I love. I mean, you couldn't be saying more true that like the training is awesome, but that's only one small part of everything you're getting here. Athena, what do you think about community?
Absolutely. Well, I will mention one thing about the course though, because I've asked, I've had people come to me and be like, look, I'm really tight on money. Do you think that this is worth my while? And I say, listen, if you were to try to go on Amazon and figure out one tiny smidgen of what you're going to get on that course, it's going to take you a lot of time. It's going to take you a lot of money because you're going to have a lot of trial and error. This course is a compilation of brilliant minds. And this person sitting next to me, he's, compliments everyone around him.
Wait, so she said it's a combination of brilliant minds and me.
No,
so I clearly don't fit into the whole
No. I just want to say this about Mike. Like, Mike came in as a student of the Amazing Selling Machine, and you were also in corporate America too. And then he created a multi-million-dollar business as a dad, right?
Yeah,
from
very
home,
similar story, right?
And then he became a mentor. That's around the time I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was always there for everyone, like nonstop. Like Mike has got the biggest heart of anyone I know in this entire thing. And, just to see how you have grown and how much you love to help, he is the best communicator when he talks. Like when you have a course and he's the one communicating, like it flows and it's very easy to absorb. And so not only has this course grown over these years, but you have somebody who's now dedicating his time. He didn't need to do that. Like he's got plenty of businesses and money. And I mean, that's really, I remember when you were making those choices of coming on and doing this and knowing how many people you could help and how many lives you can change by doing what you're doing. And we couldn't be luckier to have you.
Oh, thank you.
We really couldn't be.
I remember I was talking to you on the phone trying to decide.
Yeah, literally. We were talking about it and you're like, life decision, because you were so proud of the time you're spending with your kids and stuff. And yes, this took time, but you know the stories and you see them over and over and over again. It's not just us. There's thousands of people that because of this course and because of taking a chance, we were able to develop this. So when somebody asks me, should I spend the money? I say, yeah. If I were to go back 2.5 years ago and somebody were to approach me again and say it costs 10 times, 100 times as much, I would do it, because look at all of the amazing, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah, there's so many people.
Wasn't for that, you know, and I could not imagine how somebody could figure that out on their own, you know, with the amount of time and stuff. So yeah, the course, absolutely. The community, it goes without saying. I mean, some of the most beautiful people I've ever met in this universe are part of this, because we're all trying to make ourselves better. We're all trying to like reach for something bigger. And that's a very special person, you know, and one of the things that I think is very important is to surround yourself with positive people who are open-minded, who are thinking big, because if you do find people who haven't succeeded with this course and you ask them about it, usually it's because A, they didn't do the course, right? Yeah. Or they're kind of pessimistic. You know what I mean? It's like if they have one little pitfall or one little problem, they're out. That's not the kind of person that succeeds in anything, right? And if you have a positive attitude, you will succeed. You just have to do the steps. And if you surround yourself with incredible people who also have that positive attitude and are like, you can do this, you can move forward, then you will move forward, because you're around other people who are dreamers, who are thinkers, who are people who are going beyond just the here and now. So that's kind of part of it for me. That's
a big part of it. And you couldn't have said it better myself. That's amazing. And everything that Athena and Angie just told you about the course is true. I know for me, it's the people that I've met, come in contact with, that have made this, you know, such an incredible journey. I think the same message resonates up here. So if you're wondering, you know, first off, if you just hopped on to this call right now, we have Athena Severi, we have Angie Chacon, myself, Mike McCleary. I know I kind of get into the whole emotional part and talk about this, but we're here talking about the businesses they've built, how their lives have changed, how they have changed other people's lives. And then if you're looking for an opportunity to do the same, the Amazing Selling Machine opened up today. As a matter of fact, it opened so hard that the server crashed.
Boom! Bring it down the server.
So sorry about that.
Yeah, we're so sorry. Too many of our friends were signing up.
I can tell you without any hesitation at all that we did not orchestrate that. Some people are going to say, I'm sure you were trying to like make it crash, make it seem like.
Oh, sure, for sure.
We had thousands of people on the server right at noon Central Time today on there doing it, and we were scrambling around here to make sure to get it back up. But it is open right now. The servers are working. We've upgraded every possible thing we could.
Yeah.
If you want to learn completely about the course, there are 4 components of it. There's the web class that we're talking about. It's 8 weeks of training. There are the mentors that are out there. Now, all year round, the mentors are completely free. They volunteer their time. On average, they have $1 million or more business. During the next 8 weeks when the course is going on, we actually pay them to help them, make sure that they're out there for hours and hours upon day. But the rest of the year, they're completely giving their time for free, as a matter of fact. We also have the private resource vault, so that if you are wondering how to get something done, like a freight forwarder, or get photographs taken for your pictures, or what kind of tool you want to use for accounting, we have all that information in there, tools that we personally use and services we use. We also try to negotiate discounts for you. We're always adding things to that. And then we also have weekly coaching calls that like Rich Henderson and myself and Matt or Jason will be on every single week, answering calls live. They're all recorded. So if you don't get a chance to catch them, whatever time they're at, that's okay. Just like this call right here, it'll be recorded and you can come back and watch it again. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee that if for any reason at all, you know, we're taking the risk there. You can watch, it's not just watching the first 4 modules. You can watch the first 5 modules.
Wow.
And you get all the way through the product selection process, picking your product, getting ready to launch. You can see the whole course in the business before you decide if you don't want to do this. You can refund. All you do is reach out to us, let us know, because we want to know, what did we do wrong? Was there a reason, or is it something in your personal situation that kind of caused this? That doesn't happen very often, but that's why we're able to make that guarantee. And then we have this really crazy, incredible thing that we came up with, the 6-month buyback promise, where if you, for some reason, you follow all the steps in the training, you go out there, you do the right product selection, you find a supplier, you get packaging made, you place your order, you do all the steps. It's all laid out there on the page what you need to do. If after 6 months you've given this business a full try and it's just not working for you, we actually will buy back your business and up to $10,000 in inventory.
That's amazing.
So we've never done that
no
big
risk.
before. I know. So there's
crazy.
absolutely no risk. We're taking the risk on. But also, you know what? That's not really a big risk for us. And the reason is because we know that if you follow the training and you build the business, if you don't really want it, then we have a pre-made business that we're going to buy from you. So it's no risk for us. We'll throw right out there. We're that confident in the whole system here. And Angie and Athena are living proof of what you can actually do with this kind of business. Now, we're getting pretty close to the end of the interview. So what I want to do is I want to kind of look for some questions here, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah. Sure. Can I say one thing while you're looking for questions?
Yeah, okay.
So something that's really cool, and to kind of prove how simple the system is, I have 2 young boys. When we started with them on this, they were actually 8 and 5. Now they're 7 and 10, and they started their own brand of products on Amazon. Okay. And it has to do with lemons. And we talk about making lemonade out of lemons, and it's kind of a kitchen brand. Anyway, I'm so proud of them because they understand the whole process. Like if you were to ask them to find some viable products, they'll go on Amazon and they'll make you an entire list of products, and they know how to check, what's selling, what's not selling. They know how to negotiate. They know how to do all of it. They're learning marketing. They're learning. My son runs his own Facebook and Instagram with my supervision.
And how old is he?
He's 10. and their sales, especially during December, were very impressive. And all that money is going away for them because by the time they're like 18, imagine the brand that they will have created themselves. So if these young boys can understand this system, I think anyone can. We didn't have the experience, before. And so even if you're brand new to e-commerce, you have no skills in it, you just have to follow the course. And if you happen to have skills in it, then you're like way ahead of the game.
Absolutely.
So I thought that was kind of a cool
No,
thing.
that's great. I want to hire your son.
Right? I know. And if you ask my little one, what does he want to be when he grows up? He says, the boss. And he says, but I already am.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
So now I got my mom started in Amazon too.
Oh,
so
wow.
my mom started a product. She's doing like 20 a day. And
You mean the great grandma?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Greatness of grandmas. Yes. Anyway,
You've got
it's
some
just funny
questions?
too. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, all right. So first off, Channing Dyson says, spend the money. This course changed
I
our
love you,
lives.
Shannon. I met her at an event. She's
Oh my
incredible lady. She's got a whole brand that I won't say what it is, but it's amazing.
Rennie Fansgrud von Esch, love listening to the 3. You're also on us, real. We appreciate that. We try to be as open as we would with our own families up here. So I really appreciate that. Let's see, all kinds of stuff. You guys were all like-minded people. Another Ari, your friend Ari says, not only has ASM made us millions, it's made us tons of friends. It's a game changer.
Yes.
Absolutely. Eric Harris is asking, great question, where can I get info on the course? Eric and anyone else, Rich Henderson just posted a link here. It's basically amazingsellingmachine.com. But if you want the direct clickable link, go right into the post that Rich Henderson made, and you can click on it and go there. Let's see.
We love Rich.
Yeah, Rich is he's doing all the hard work in the background. There's the hashtag Glama, right?
Oh, yeah.
Amazon
We're starting a
Glama
trend.
now. Oh my goodness.
No, let's not go with that, Rich.
Carolyn says, I just need to pick a product. That's right, Carolyn, just stick with the training. Reach out to people if you have any problems.
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't feel like your first product is like the only thing. Just go out there, do what the course says, pick something. And what's cool is like on Amazon, as long as you're pretty close to what you're looking for, it's gonna sell. It might not sell 100 a day, but eventually it will sell out. So don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Keep it simple.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, keep it simple. That's a good. She did that on stage. She did a whole presentation about keeping things simple, and it was
not only
amazing.
did she do a whole presentation, she actually a lot of people voted on what was the best presentation. It was Angie's. It was keep it simple. So we go over all levels of different. It doesn't matter where you're at in this business. There are different levels of speakers at these events. Some go into really advanced marketing tactics. Some talk about some off Amazon traffic tactics. Angie came up and said, keep it simple, and talked about the basic things that you need to do every day to run your business and to grow it. And it was amazing because it made me step back and realize, why focus on all these other things? Focus on what's making you money and to keep yourself sane and simple. It resonated with so many of the speakers there as well. So that was like one of the very best ones. Here's a great question. I'm not going to ignore this one. We're just going to, answer it. Jonathan's asking, is the course really worth $4,000? The price of the course, just, is $39.97. I think you'll see a lot of the people out there saying that if you want to go out there and try to find all the training, somewhere like scour thousands of hours of YouTube videos, you can probably figure out how to sell on Amazon. You might be able to figure out how to pick some good products. And then eventually you can probably get a product up and selling down the road and start making some money. However, by investing the $4,000 in the course, you can leapfrog all over the mistakes you might make, whether you pick the wrong product, you pick the wrong supplier, you don't negotiate the right price because you don't know how to do that. You do something wrong with your seller account and you get banned for life on Amazon. And the way that I was doing the math here, that the way that we teach you to find products is that we're going to look at a certain BSR range, which is the best seller rank. And we also tell you a certain price range, which is anywhere from $20 to $70. All these products at a minimum are designed to make at least $10,000 a month. Not right away, not like day one, day two, week one, or week two, but after a few months, if you're doing everything we teach you, these products very easily can get up to $10,000 a month. And that means if your profit margin is around 30%, which it should be, that's $3,000 the first month. And then, let's go just another week. You can basically in 40 to 45 days make enough profit to pay for this course.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things to think about. So if you want to wait 6 months to a year down the road before you're making that and not invest in it and then start making the money later on, you can. But if you want to leapfrog and start making profit much sooner than anyone else, that's why we absolutely think that $39.97 is not only a very good price, it's a great price. We've had other people tell us we should be charging a lot more for it.
I mean, what university can you go to, or what kind of business can you start with that kind of budget that allows you to build a multi-million-dollar business?
And I've had people get some other random course and pay cheaper, and they've come to me for help because they're this doesn't help me. I can't get help. There's no. And people have to realize they're not just buying course. I have to keep, people that come to me about the course, I have to keep reminding them you're not just buying a course. It's not like you're just getting this thing and you're off on your own doing this. You actually have this whole group of support, and it's ongoing, and the Amazon changes something, you get the change. It's like, good, how do you do this now that Amazon made this change? And we're always updating. We're always part of this group. You go to a live event and it's like always inspiring. And it's, what's $4,000? It's nothing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, it's not everyone has it to spend, but when you're building a business, I think a franchise for a restaurant is going to cost $250,000 minimum, and your chances of success, I think, like 50% with businesses. Also, what I wanted to talk about a little bit too is that we're not going to deny the fact, are there other like cheap versions of courses out there? Yeah, you can find them out there.
Oh, I have a good example for that.
I challenge anyone to go out there and find a course that has all the proof that we have.
Right.
We are constantly bringing in people who aren't marketers. They're real people who are creating their own futures and selling on Amazon and making millions of dollars on Amazon. We've had several come in this week, last week, next week. If you go to AmazingSellingMachine.com, you watch the videos, you'll see people that we interviewed freely. We're not paying them. They're coming like, I want to share this with the world. We have so much proof because our training, our mentoring, our resources, everything that comes involved in it, like these two, the people around you, it works. It just flat out works.
It does. And I'll give you a live example about that. So I do put these things together where we, maybe have 50 people, 30 people, whatever. And there was a gentleman there who had been selling on Amazon for 2 years. He did another course, I think it was like $500. He'd been selling on Amazon for 2 years, and he would just ask these questions over and over. And he's a very smart guy. So I'm like, why? And then I found out he hadn't actually signed up for the Amazing Selling Machine. And that's why there are a lot of holes in the system of what he'd been following. And he actually signed up for the Amazing Selling Machine today. We're very excited for him. Yeah, because after 2 years of trial and error, he told me he wasted a ton of time, a ton of money trying to figure it out himself. And he's so happy to now be part of our community. We welcomed him today.
Congratulations. That's fantastic.
He's actually my best friend's dad. I've known him since I was 18. So go, Richard!
Awesome. Yay.
We had another member who just signed up 6 months ago, had been selling on Amazon for a long time. His first name's Boris. I'm not going to give his full name out here, but you can actually see his full name, actually. If you watch the videos, he's in there. He was selling on Amazon for a while, and he just wasn't doing anything. He took the training less than 6 months ago, and I believe he just hit the $20,000 a month mark. I know. So that's
so cool.
So if you've never been selling on Amazon, the course works. If you have been selling on Amazon, you're not getting the success that you want, the course works for you as well.
And even if you don't do a perfect job, like my brother, who is a drummer, and he's not into business or any of this, and I actually got him signed up for the course, and he put on a very simple product that there are a lot of, and he kind of halfway did what he was supposed to. And in December, he sold $30,000 worth of this one little product, and he was so in love with it that he came with me to China too to find more products. Awesome. He was like, what is this? So yeah, it's great for why be a server if you could literally just a few hours a week work on your Amazon business and get enough money to support you as an artist. I mean, that's another thing.
That is so true.
Could support you in many things.
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here pretty quickly. I do want to mention something else. As Angie mentioned earlier, she almost missed the cutoff when she was signing up a couple of years ago. She did it in the last few hours. We had server issues today, so I don't recommend waiting till that long. So if you have any questions at all or considering it all, go watch the training videos. There is completely free training. We know there's a course you can go out there, and we want you to definitely join us in the community, get the private resources, the mentoring, the full 8-week training, the coaching calls. But if you just want to go out and see the basics of what this business is about, we have 3 videos out there that'll show you. First one, how you go out there and find a product. The next one, how to find suppliers. And then the next one, how to launch your product. We go over the basics right there. We're very open about how the basics of this whole business works. That we know, and we're so confident that if you see that and you know what we're giving away freely, you can only imagine what is inside the course once you get everything that we have, the tools, the community, the people like Athena and Angie. It's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. All right, so I'm just going to close out here. I'm going to thank both of you, Athena, Angie. I love you, and I don't just say that. I mean it truly. I love both of you so much. So many people out there love you and thank you and have you guys to attribute so much of their success, not just financially, but life-wise.
Yeah. We're here for you. If you need anything, you can ask us.
Yeah, and they mean it. So, with a great point. So this is going to be recorded. So if you guys want to ask any of the questions, we can't get to all the questions on here. I'm so sorry. We have a limited amount of time. It's already past 7. Maybe later on today or tomorrow, if you have questions, feel free to post them underneath this video, and maybe Angie and Athena will go out there and actually answer some questions for you. Awesome. Thank you so much. More free time.
You do that. Yeah. And again, Mike, you've changed my life so many times over. So thank you for everything you do. Matt, Jason, Rich, all the mentors, everyone in the community. You guys completely changed my life. So thank you.
Oh, thank you too.
For me too. For
and you guys out there, don't miss it, because here's the thing. We don't know when the next ASM is going to happen. This is a true story. We had a few come out, and then there was one launch where they're like, we're not sure when the next one is. And everyone's like, yeah, it'll be in 6 months. It wasn't. It took a year and a half. We weren't even sure if it was going to happen again. Yeah. So if you're looking at this, if you want to make this happen, do it now. Don't wait. Don't even wait 6 months.
It's not a scarcity tactic. And once the doors
close. It's not
a
scarcity tactic. It's true.
Our focus is 100% on making sure that our members are successful. Yeah. So that's what we have to do as soon as the doors close here. And you're right. This hasn't been open for 6 months. And prior to that, it was a year and a half. Because we were focusing on innovation and making sure people were successful, having masterminds, having live events.
Taking care of us.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and that takes a lot of work.
It does, trust me.
Especially, Just kidding.
All right, well, I'm going to close out, get ready to open this up, but I want to thank everyone for joining us here. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be on any live calls, probably because of this. But thank you so much for joining us today. Really, we really appreciate everyone here, not just these guys here, but everyone out there who's answering questions, asking questions. No question is too dumb to ask. Feel free to ask it out there. We'll freely answer it. And thank you so much, and we'll see you all real soon.
Love you.